Episode title, The Man Who Would Change Russia. Intro music, midnight to 0:30. Host, welcome to Global Insights, a podcast exploring the complexities of international relations and geopolitics. I'm your host, Naim, and today we're discussing a thought-provoking essay by Andrei Melnichenko, a Russian billionaire, on the future of Russia. Joining me is Boris Bondarev, a former Russian diplomat with a unique perspective on the matter. Welcome, Boris. Segment 1, Introduction to Andrei Melnichenko's essay, 0:30 to 5 o'clock. Host, Boris, can you give our listeners some background on Andrei Melnichenko's essay and what he proposes for Russia's future? Boris Bondarev, thank you for having me. Andrei Melnichenko's essay, on the surface, appears to be a call for reform and modernization in Russia. However, upon closer examination, it becomes clear that his vision is actually about preserving the status quo, rather than bringing about meaningful change. Host, that's fascinating. What specific aspects of Melnichenko's proposal lead you to this conclusion? Boris Bondarev, well, for instance, Melnichenko emphasizes the need for Russia to maintain its current economic and political systems, with only minor tweaks. He argues that this will ensure stability and continuity, but in reality, it's a recipe for stagnation. Segment 2, Analysis of Melnichenko's Proposals, 5 to 1500 hours. Host, that's a compelling point. How do you think Melnichenko's proposals would impact Russia's relationships with other countries, particularly in the West? Boris Bondarev, if Melnichenko's vision were to become a reality, it would likely lead to further isolation and mistrust between Russia and the international community. By refusing to reform and modernize, Russia would be signaling that it's not interested in cooperating or engaging with the rest of the world. Host, and what about the impact on the Russian people themselves? Would they benefit from Melnichenko's proposals? Boris Bondarev, unfortunately, I think the Russian people would be the biggest losers if Melnichenko's vision were to come to pass. By preserving the current system, Melnichenko is essentially ensuring that the same corrupt and inefficient structures remain in place, hindering economic growth and social progress. Segment 3, Conclusion and Reflection, 15 to 2000 hours. Host, Boris, as someone who has worked within the Russian system, what do you think is the most important thing for our listeners to take away from this conversation? Boris Bondarev, I think it's essential to recognize that true change in Russia will require more than just minor adjustments to the current system. It will require a fundamental transformation of the country's politics, economy, and society. Andrei Melnichenko's essay, unfortunately, does not offer a blueprint for such a transformation. Host, thank you, Boris, for sharing your insights with us today. It's clear that the path forward for Russia is complex and uncertain. Outro music, 20 to 2030. Host, that's all for today's episode of Global Insights. Join us next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion on the world's most pressing issues.